Hey there, it's Alan on my journey of discovering that I actually like reading books in my early 30s. So anyways, recently my local library was having a used book sale. This was actually a while back. This is back in October when I was really just getting gung-ho about collecting some books that I was going to read. So anyways, I went and checked it out. Wasn't expecting too much, but I did pretty good. It was kind of just take a pile and make a donation deal. So first of all, I got a big hardcover Richard Bachman, The Regulators, which is actually Stephen King under a pseudonym name. I've kind of decided since, though, that I don't think I want to get hardcover books. They're big and take up a lot of space. As nice as they are to read, I like to borrow one from the library and read a hardcover, but they do take up a lot of space. And so now I have a hard copy cover of this book and no other Stephen King books. And I haven't gotten to this one yet because I heard I should read Desperation first because they're kind of connected books, and I've decided to read some of the earlier Stephen King first, but nonetheless, pretty good find. And I'll mention too that what I paid, $20 when I walked out with all this stuff. So also I got another Stephen King Revival, and this one's pretty nice. I like these bigger paperbacks, the trade paperbacks they called, and I already read this, and this was great actually. And it was in nice shape, good book, Revival, yeah, excellent stuff. And I also got, and this was great because I've been wanting to read this too, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, the trilogy, which is actually a 5-book set, the trilogy of 5. It's missing one, so not a big deal. It's got the first 4 books, and they're all in pretty good shape too. I read the first one, enjoyed it. I kind of wish I hadn't seen the movie, because I kept picturing the movie the whole time, and I wish I had no knowledge of that. But it was still good nonetheless, and I plan on finishing this series. And so that was pretty nice. Box set, did pretty good there. And then 4 Past Midnight. This one's a bit more of a beat-up old book. You know, it's obviously, it's seen its days in the library. This one's 4 novellas by Stephen King, including The Langoliers and The Secret Window, which I have seen the movie for that. Haven't got to this one yet, though. Working my way through Stephen King. Read a lot of it, but this will be for down the road. And then so I also saw they had some VHS tapes, and I'm kind of into collecting weird VHS tapes. I don't really like to put much money into getting them, but I did find some good ones. After Hours, this was a great 80s movie. Martin Scorsese directed it. That was a cool find. And then this one, I haven't watched this yet, but it was kind of one I wanted to track down. Death Race 2000. It was from, I think it was 1975, and the early Sylvester Stallone movie. They've made newer Death Race movies since. I haven't seen any of those, but a friend told me a long time ago about how wacky this movie is and that I have to check it out. But it's not an easy one to come across, so that's neat. And yeah, so I gave $20 into the donation jar for all these things, and they were like, "Oh, go take a couple more." I was like, "Oh, nice." You know, they're just trying to get rid of books. So I grabbed a couple more quick ones, and this one was actually pretty good. Well, I haven't dove too far into it yet, but it's short stories. It's called Whodunit Detective Stories, chosen by Philip Pullman. And one of the first ones I read was The Speckled Band, and it's by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, and he was the guy that came up with the character Sherlock Holmes, and so it was a Sherlock Holmes story, and I enjoyed that. And then there was another one I read that I quite liked, and it was by Isaac Asimov, which I've heard he's a pretty good writer, so I was keen to read his short story in here. It's called The Cross of Lorraine, and I really like that, and so now I'm kind of like thinking that I want to check out some of his work. So not too bad. It's just like kind of a young adult little fun book, but I found some good stuff in it too. And then I grabbed Peter Straub, Shadowland, or is it Straub? I'm not sure. I was interested in checking out Ghost Story by Peter Straub. I've heard that's one of the great horror novels, but I grabbed Shadowland because I saw it there, and I haven't got to this one yet, but I'm looking forward to that too. Should be pretty good. So, for $20, got all this stuff. Not too bad. You know, I've been kind of going about just finding cheap used paperbacks for everything I've been reading, so this was a pretty good haul, and it was supporting my local library, so not too bad either. You know, so I was quite happy with that, and it's just a small town library. I was surprised by the good stuff they had. They had even more Stephen King books too, but I resisted going too crazy. So anyways, that was a fun little bundle of stuff I grabbed. And so yeah, I guess that's all I have, so we'll see you next time.